you have to put into some sensibility that the last portion of this gospel today is more of a parable than an actual hit list. But it's the gospel today and the first reading about how the Spirit of God is made manifest in moments that seem unbounded. And I use this as an example. You know, Brother Pascal and I have just moved into the shrine and to the friary here about 10 months ago. And although we've lived here before, it was welcome to come back and to work in and about our kitchen area, because what welcomed us, and we have a rather large kitchen, was the labels on every drawer in the kitchen. Someone must have given the sisters who used to work here a label maker for Christmas someday, but they took the time to label everything. And it makes it very handy, you know, ladles, tongs, wooden spoons, sharp knives. Like, who's going to keep a dull knife, you know? But it's really helpful because it's organized and it's in a place and it's determined and segmented, segregated. But my favorite drawer, miscellaneous. Because that's where you find the necessary things. You know, scissors, a potato peeler, something to cut the apple, But you can find everything in miscellaneous, and it fits. And I think that tells us something about what the readings share. Because in the first reading, Eldad and Medad were given the Spirit of the Lord, and they weren't in the group. It overflowed into them, and they were able to do good and holy works. And that was helpful to the community. In the gospel today, John is trying to maintain, to segregate, to keep in a box the Spirit of the Lord. And Jesus is very clear and saying, no, anyone who is not against us is for us. Okay? And I think that's necessary for us to realize. We've come to a point in our culture where everybody wants to segregate everybody else, whether you're in, an orange state or a purple state, you know what I mean, or if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, or if you're, everyone's trying to segment themselves and keep people apart. But I think the Spirit of the Lord works in and through each and every one of us, because as I look here, we'd all fit in my miscellaneous drawer. Okay, because I don't put a label on you, and I hope you don't put a label on me, whether that be conservative, liberal, tall or short, bald or, never mind. But again, if we're truly listening to the spirit of the gospel today, that we want good to come out of all our actions. And we don't limit the actions of those who are doing good for feeding the poor, clothing the naked, doing, all good things. We as Catholics have Catholic relief services and the Rice Bowl program. But I watched on the news this morning how a Muslim community in Baltimore yesterday had a program to feed the poor, to reach out, okay? They're doing good work. They're doing the things that are holy in their own way. And we can't stop that. It's good and holy. And I think that's what Jesus is asking us to be deep-seated and rooted about today. That if anyone gives that cup of water to someone who is thirsty, that's a good thing. Because maybe one day we'll be that person having that thirst, that longing, and someone will give us that cup of water. Or someday we'll be hungering and thirsting for something spiritual, some care, some concern. We'll be suffering somehow, and someone will simply reach out to us, sit with us, talk to us, look in our eyes, and just simply let us know that they care. Not by what they have to say, because sometimes that's not what's most important. It's just being there. I think one of my favorite comics that I've seen that have really touched me, maybe it was on a card that I sent someone, and it was Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. I think it was Piglet. And they're just sitting at a tree, and Piglet says, "Pooh," and Pooh says, "What is it, Piglet?" And Piglet says, "Nothing. I just wanted to make sure you were there." Isn't that all we're asked to be for one another? That we are there for one another. And that's what I believe is the Spirit of the Lord working in and through us. It's not limited. It's just simply by the way we are with one another. So allow the Spirit of the Lord to enter into you, to work through you, to help you be your best self, and to be there for one another.